Happy Father's Day 2021 to all the fathers locally and globally. So today being Father's Day 2021 and today's the 20th. The 20th is my birthday, so that's 2 months from now. 20 times 2 is 40. 40 great reasons for a father to be excited to be a first-time father, and also 40 reasons for a father to get involved no matter what distance, because a lot of times a father may not be in the picture. There's a service requirement, being in the military, maybe a job is overseas. So I'm going to discuss 80 reasons for a father, first-time father, to be excited about being a first-time father. And secondly, I'm going to discuss all the ways a father can stay involved in a digital age. So let's start with number one. The reason a dad should be excited to be a dad first time. Well, number one, you gotta believe that first wait for that first moment of a speech. That means a cry, that first cry. That means the baby's alive, the lungs are well, the brain's operating, is a big moment. So number one is hearing your baby newborn cry. Number two, you better believe the second reason is awesome. When you gotta roll up your sleeves and you gotta be that clutch player. And I mean a clutch player because you gotta change that first diaper, and ooh, it's a good reason to look forward to be a first-time dad. And it's called meconium, so it's totally different than normal bowel movement. This sounds awesome, doesn't it? So yeah, so changing that first diaper is number two, and you gotta get serious about it because it's hard, it's sticky, but if you got some wipes with you and a diaper, you're set, right? Number three is getting your first male or female child to get fed by you, and that's either through a bottle feed or sometimes it's a finger feed. So that's an awesome thing too, because you see the latch on of your child on your finger and or that bottle, and you can see they're getting nourished. It's a big moment, something to get excited about. Number four is making sure you got that first cool gift, whether it's a brand new onesie and or some cool little shoes or a little hat. Whatever it is, make sure you think it through and have it ready for when you're leaving the hospital. Now I think we're going to go to Olympic 5. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Olympic 5 is definitely this. You got to realize it's exciting to get that information back from that first blood test. That blood test says everything's in the A-OK, and you want that blood test to find out if there's anything going on. So first-time fathers know that that blood test is an important thing, and technically you could always have information prior to a delivery, because that's what you do. You do genetic testing and mapping. So there we go. Number 6, another important reason to get excited to be a first-time dad. You want to realize that this is not going to happen the same way to you, your partner, and or a child, because consecutive children will be individual to them. So that moment in time, like any moment in time, is something to savor. So stop, realize the gravity of the moment, and that reality in the moment will firmly base you inside that moment, so you can fully take in and engage that moment to moment. and realize how happy that moment is, because it's a long time to wait to see that first smile, that first cry, that first reach. Maybe a basketball player reach because they reach up. Maybe their leg kicks and you think they're going to be a soccer player, and that's another reason to be happy. So, number 7, to get excited for what? You better believe getting excited for this is an important thing, because the car seat and the instructional ways to put in a car seat is one thing. Getting in contact with your local firehouse to get them to properly install it with you that first time, so you know afterwards how to do it, is another reason to get excited, so you know that that child is going to be safe. Number 8, you better believe getting your child home into that crib the first time is a big reason to get excited. So building it, maybe getting it custom made and then doing something with that custom crib that makes it original for your little boy or girl. Number 9 reason to get excited. You better believe when you have a little baby boy or girl, or maybe you're lucky and you got twins or triplets, or wow, it can go anywhere from there. So the point being is to be excited, to be prepared, and you have to be, like in the army, prepared for everything that young baby boy or boys or baby girl or girls are going to need. So you got to have lots of diapers on hand. You got to have tons of baby powder, some oil and or some diaper cream. You better believe you're going to have some bottles, some formula, and you got all this stuff. You are prepared. So get excited about that preparation, because guess what? It's going to make you cool and calm to be prepared. Number 10, you gotta believe, you gotta get excited for the importance of getting that birth certificate. And that birth certificate, you should make a duplicate and maybe put it in a frame, and or your pictures on those early moments. And those pictures gotta be part of either a home library and or something you can send forward as a gift to everybody in your family, because they want to be a part of it too. So if they're living out of town or they're not so close, another good reason to be excited. Number 11 is you want to be excited for your baby girl or baby boy to be born, because when they first start crying, you gotta listen. And each time they cry, it may be for a different reason, but there's not too many different reasons. 1, they're either tired. 2, they may be hungry. 3, they may be having a lot of gas. And 4, you better believe it could be all 3 of those. And if you get on that cue, you can cue in and listen to which coo means what. So getting familiar with the different baby calls, you better believe, is a good reason to be prepared and excited, because you will snap in like a great guard inside of a basketball to sports to life when you get those first coos. So it could be a bottle feeding. Maybe it's getting the blanket on with a pipka and or a soother. Pipka is the Ukrainian way to say soother. So then you could say, well, now it's time because the teeth are coming in and it's time to do some food. So feeding one's child through yogurt and or something else that's delicious. And also, it's important to realize that there could be some serious gas, not just from milk and or breast milk. The fact is, after and during and between each feed from breast to breast, there's going to be some gas. So get excited to be that step-in dad, like a pinch hitter, to come in and start giving a little bit of massage to the back to raise up that gas, to release that tension. And then all of a sudden the baby's like, Oh, that's good, right? So knowing those things and how to do it and how to step up as a first-time dad is a reason to get excited. Also, what you want to figure out is how, when you start doing the bottle feed as a dad, you get excited because you've already practiced from the real breast how to relieve some of that pressure from the baby's digestive tract by rubbing the back and getting that gas through the system. It's a big deal. So then, of course, you want to figure in number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. That's 7 real important reasons to get to the present day 20. So the number 7 reasons, Captain 7, is that each and every moment should be videoed, photoed, and or brought in with an expert to have those moments, so that if you're going for an event, number 1, you're going to someone's baby shower, which is yours, but you're going somewhere, you have that videography of yourself. Number 3, you're going to a parent's house or extended parent's house. Number 4, you're traveling on the road to visit your friends to see your first newborn for the first time. These are big reasons. And 5, you're potentially going out to meet everybody all together inside of a church or a mosque or another religious gathering. Number 6 and 7, you're wanting to get maybe even on a train for the first time. And number 7, you're now well equipped to get onto a bus potentially and ride somewhere. So the transferability and the commuting is all a reason to get excited to go to events, to introduce that little baby boy, boys, or girls to the rest of your extended family or friends, and all reason to be excited. Now, clearly in COVID time, this is another consideration. However, you still got to realize that the neural link connection that we all have to our digital age telecommunications and virtual connection means you can go online and speak on that important first real feel, thought, and what's going on, because that's an important thing to have family and friends for. So there's nothing better if family's far away to be able to connect online. So that's 20. And now I'm going to give 20 reasons for a dad to get excited, even if they are in the service, no matter how close or far, because they're busy day to day, why they can get excited. So number 1 is that even if you don't get a response, you can make messages, video messages. You can make a fun adventure message, and you can do it on a day-to-day basis, a weekly basis, and or you could do it on a monthly basis, whatever time permits. It's a fun, exciting thing to be a part of parenting and or structuring and or reminding of good, healthy habits. Number 2, to be excited to have that virtual connect for the first time, whether it's FaceTime or it's real time on your cellular phone, that connection with a webcam with your baby boy and or your baby girl, and or as they grow, to hear them come back and say, hey dad, I scored big on my report card because I'm now the top of my class for math. So that's a big deal, and that's something to definitely get excited about. And number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 6. So the top 6 reasons to get excited about being a dad that can connect virtually is that you want to realize that you can teach a lot. So let's go to the top 6 sports. Teaching the fundamental drills of hockey, so the skating. Number 2, basketball, dribbling, passing, and shooting. Number 3, baseball, the awesome pitch or throwing to a base or throwing from the outfield. Number 4, getting the real football audibles and how to make an audible call when you're calling different plays is another great reason to get excited about that virtual connect. Number 5, you better believe soccer, learning how to move that ball flawlessly can be done online, and teaching that no matter how close or far that service member is number 5 Olympic reason. And number 6, you better believe golf, one of my top sports to get excited about, and teaching virtually is the real mechanics to why a golf swing is as good as it is, because your focus on the technique to teach your young boy or girl the fine-tuned operations of the golf swing mechanics, keeping the eye on the ball, not lifting the club but rather swinging the club back, making perfect contact and following through. And there we go to 10 being well, of course, all those sports lead into my next sport, which is swimming. And you got to be a good swimmer inside of life, because you got to sometimes get those legs and arms moving together, just like in a sport. So teaching the front crawl or the doggy paddle virtually, it can be done. 11, 12, 13, and 14, my favorite number, champions 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. You better believe these next triumvirate is an important 3. The belief inside of what one is able to do as a dad virtually can make a lasting impression inside of a young person's life, because eventually they can figure out everything about the internet connection. So, and they can do it safely, of course, under parental guidance. So the point being is that one's child can get to know one's dad as they grow up virtually in these top 3 ways. 1 is for the character that's important in life. Number 2, it's educational, health, that means wealth. And number 3, it's the reasons to stay healthy and how to get health on a day-to-day basis. So that triumvirate of what I find is important for everybody is a way that a dad can get excited to virtually connect no matter how close or far they are. And now I got my finish of 6 to make it right for a 2020 vision on the 20th, and a 2020 you better believe is a 60. So the last 6 is definitely so straightforward. You want to get excited about how to teach your young one how to cook, and the older they get, the more advanced the cooking gets. So number 1 is most likely going to be some basic baking that they can do with you in the kitchen, like cookies. Obviously, to keep safe, stay away from the oven, but safety is a great thing to teach young kids. They stay away from the oven, to stay away from the stove. And secondly, it's important to realize that what one can do to get involved in basic cooking, like making macaroni and cheese or a soup, and having them far enough away that they can be a part of it to pass an item up to the stove. And then, of course, number 3, you want to make sure that that young one has some good knowledge of what it's like to prepare. And so eventually a young one can get to the point to operate a knife. I wouldn't do it until a certain age, but eventually, yes. And learning how to clean a produce item and or a produce vegetable, whatever that important item is, learning how to clean it, maybe dice it, if it's a potato, a squash, a yam, a zucchini, sweet, delicious pepper, anything that's awesome inside of food preparation. Learning how to teach those culinary preparatory skills is an important reason to get excited virtually, because it can be done. Look at Master's Class. Look at all those cooking shows. So, another great reason. And then, of course, there's number 1, 2, 3 again. And to anchor my top 40, just like Casey Kasem did for Father's Day 2021, you better believe bringing the meal together, showing them how to set a table and do it right with the different styles of setting a table, where the forks may be different from one versus the next, and or maybe it's chopsticks, or maybe it's no cutlery whatsoever, it's eating with one's hands, different parts of the world. So learning how to sit right. All these important things can be done virtually. And of course, 2-in-1, my favorite 2-in-1, because 1 and a 2 is a 12 for great news time summation, and 1-2-1 is man-to-man. And you better believe that basketball, meal making, and learning how to be a first-time dad and get excited about it is all about manning up. So that last 2 has to be learning how to communicate with one's child and with one's partner. And lastly, to bring it all together, to always get involved with great coverage on what one can do as one's child keeps growing up inside of one's development. And even if you can't see your child, you can still send those virtual connects out there, just like Message in a Bottle, one of my favorite movies that Kevin Costner had. So I know there's a lot of servicemen and women still in operation in various parts of the world, so realize those important timeouts on time off can be ways that you and yours can keep connected all Father's Days, no matter what's going on. I wish you all the best. My hat is tipped on a day-to-day basis for the important work that's being done locally and globally for peace and security, and also the global goals being financed, built, and realized in real engineering. And may this 2021 be the important 2021 of the Year of the Ox, for hardworking results being met, for sustainability for each and every family, father, locally and globally. And that's the top 40 from Big Z 2021, with my favorite artist in the background, Big Papa, Big Z. Have a great day, everyone.